Hi, hello everyone. My name is Grace. I'm from Hub International Insurance, and our Strata division has been insuring Strata buildings for over 35 years. And we can echo a lot of what Paul is saying in terms of current insurance landscape and the challenges that you guys are facing and we're facing as well. But what we want to talk about now is how to move forward. What is 2020 is going to be look like, and what the Strata Corporation can do to weather this storm. Insurance market will continue to be in a hard cycle for 2020, and we can expect insurance company keep raising the deductibles and rates and limit their capacity in their chosen line of business in an attempt to turn profit. And we'll also experience insurance company exiting the line of business that they choose altogether. So both factors will continue to put pressure on Strata Insurance. And as a result of that, unfortunately, the premium and deductible will continue to rise. And for different types of Strata corporations, we can again echo what Paul is saying, that older properties with frequent claims and lack of building updates, higher rises with larger losses. If these buildings are located in earthquake or flood zones, they're going to have great challenges in terms of getting insurance coverage. Now, what we can do about it. As we move forward into the new year, the conversation should focus on the sustainability of the insurance marketplace, what the Strata Corporation can do to sustain this current marketplace and weather the storm. Well, first and utmost, Strata Corporation should focus on proactive measures to manage the buildings and reduce costs, reduce losses. And we can delve into a bit more details in the following slides. It's also imperative that the Strata Corporation, the property managers and insurance brokers work closely together in this hard market to make sure that the Strata Corporation is proactively managing the building, mitigating the loss, so that they are in the best possible position to obtain insurance coverage. Now, as insurance broker, we are canvassing all the possible available market to seek capacity and offer favorable terms to Strata corporations. And we will also need to keep constant open dialogue with Strata Corporation and property managers, because the insurance landscape just keep changing, and we need to communicate with you guys and keep you updated in terms of what are the changes, what's coming up. And provide certain suggestions and recommendations to help the Strata Corporation obtain Strata insurance coverage. Now, we also need your help to keep us abreast in terms of what kind of changes being made in the Strata Corporation that can affect Strata insurance policy. Because part of the hard market, the sign of hard market is for the insurance company, they are tightening their underwriting guidelines. So they are asking a lot of questions, and basically they're looking at a frame and looking at the Strata Corporation to see whether they fit that box, whether it checks off all the criteria so that they can offer term. So when all these questions are asked, again, it's not us that asking all these questions, the insurance company that they are asking all these questions so that they can determine whether, one, they will offer any quotes or not, and if they do, what kind of rate that they are going to charge. So it's imperative for Strata corporations, property managers, and insurance broker to keep talking and make sure all the information that needed are being addressed and being filtered through to the insurance company, and help shined a positive light onto the Strata Corporation in front of the Strata Insurance Company so that they can offer term and hopefully they can offer favor to the Strata corporations. So just like any relationship, when the time is tough, we have to keep talking and keep the communication going. So let's start talking about what are the proactive measures that the Strata Corporation can do to reduce or prevent losses. There are a lot of ways that Strata can accomplish that. One is, do you have all these maintenance protocols in place? Do you have roof inspection and maintenance contract in place that to make sure that the roofs are inspected regularly and fixed where is needed? What about the gutter? Are they free of debris? And I guess winter is still here, so whether you have a snow removal contract. If you have a snow removal contract, are you the one calling the company to come and remove the snow, or it's their responsibility to determine the threshold when they can come to remove the snow? And these little details are very important to understand and also understand the implication behind it. Also make sure that all the contractors that you hire to service the Strata Corporation, that they are licensed and carry adequate insurance, so their insurance will provide coverage for any faulty workmanship or defective products. Depreciation report is a good tool, but it's only a good tool if you are using it. So asking whether you have a depreciation report, whether they are updated, and whether you are actually using it as a guideline for you to properly, proactively manage the Strata buildings. Now, building update informations are especially important for older buildings, and this is one of the key indicators insurance companies looking for, because like electrical, plumbing, heating, and roof, they all have their certain lifespan. So if the update is not updated on time or appropriately, then the buildings tend to deteriorate. And this is a bad sign for insurance company because they're more likely to put into loss that associate with it. So they would like to see for older buildings the recent updates that shows to the insurance company that the Strata Corporation is on top of everything and proactively manage the building. And they usually ask for the year of build, the extent of the replacement, or extent of the update, whether it's 100% replacement or partial, and the details of the updates are important to them as well. The other thing Strata Corporation can do is maintain an ongoing checklist. So, for example, do you have a slip and fall checklist? And it's a very simple list that you can just walk through the premises and making sure that the lighting is adequate, if before the snow, whether the road is salted, and whether there are cracks on the roadway, things like that. So you can take the sheets and walk around the premise and make sure you are not missing anything and mark on the condition. If they're good, it's great, and if not, you can take action to fix it to minimize the slip and fall hazard that can potentially have. Another example is the general maintenance checklist. Of course, it's going to be a bit more extensive, so it can include life safety, fire protection, common areas. Again, you can walk around the premises and use that as guidelines to make sure that everything is in order, and use as your part of your maintenance schedule as well. Now you can develop these checklists on your own based on your own requirements and needs, but always ask your insurance brokers. A lot of time they already have them that you can use as kind of template to cater towards your own needs. The other things that the Strata Corporation can utilize is to use risk managers. If you have certain concerns, if you have a lot of water losses, you can use a risk manager come on site and do an investigation and provide you some with their professional opinion. And a lot of insurance brokers actually have in-house risk manager to help you to do something like that. I'll just give you an example. So one of the Strata or their corporation is situated right besides the Fraser River. So we invited our house risk manager and to their council meeting. And when we got there, we noticed that the city just installed the dikes. And the Strata Corporation is situated in between the Fraser River and the dikes. So essentially, they're not protected. So the risk manager went in and he got all the data that related to that specific site in terms of in the next few years what's expected flood level is going to be in that particular site. And he was able to help them design a few options that's cost effective and minimize the flood exposures. So insurance brokers not just selling insurance. We want to provide. We have resources that you can utilize that can help you proactively manage the buildings. Yes. Sometimes, a lot of times not, but depends on the scope that charge. But it's part of the added service of the provide. Now, what type of things each condo owners do to protect assets and help the Strata Corporation reduce their losses? Know where all water shutoff valves are located and ensure they are easily accessible. I just bought a condo in downtown and I had a hard time trying to find where the water shutoff valves are located in my unit. So I end up knocking at my door, and they've been living in the building for over 25 years. And they told me that they had a hard time when they first moved in. And eventually they found the water shutoff valve is in their study room and right behind their office desk. On top of that, he had to use the Allen wrenches to open the plate. So now he just put a cardboard in front of it so that it's easily accessible. So it's a good idea for Strata Corporation to educate condo owners to show them where their water shutoff valves are located and make sure they're easily accessible.
And that they're easily opened.
Exactly. And I can't believe he showed me. I said, wow, it's right there. It's so hard to get to. And also replace standard flexible water supplies lines to appliance with steel braided lines, like your washing machine, toilet, dishwashers, yeah. And these steel braided lines can help minimize the water damage caused by bursting pipes. Well, never put an ignition source, smoking materials, matches into planter pots or leave untended, and make sure that the material is out and disposed of in a safe and sealed container. I think that's fairly self-explanatory. You would think, right? Review your personal insurance with your condo insurance broker to ensure that you have adequate limits and coverage. Now that the deductibles are increasing tremendously, always important to show the summary of coverage of your Strata policy to your condo insurance broker and make sure that you are adequately covered. ensure access is provided for all scheduled maintenance, and if you're away, all the water valves off. If you have gas, shut that off as well, and have somebody attend and look at your unit every few days and to see whether everything is okay.
I have something controversy to what I heard too about shutting off your water when you're away. I learned this through an insurance company that you never shut off your water if you're away. Instead, give key access if you can, to the neighbor for emergency contact to someone, because if anything ever happens, yeah, I think that's all I know. What's that? System, I know it's separate, I understand that's separate, but I was told that an insurance claim could be denied if there's something that went wrong and you shut off your water and you turned it on again. I don't know.
I never heard about that.
Maybe you know more than I do on that.
Yeah, never.
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
So I have a comment on that. Like,
Sure.
Like my work, I mean, and over the past 10 years, we detection device that actually turns off the gas water.
Yeah.
Why? If you have a gas appliance, like a gas water heater, if you turn off the water and the gas is still firing, or the electric elements are still firing, that can cause the tanks to fail. But I'm really interested because, we've tried selling this stuff over the years. There's never been any rebates, there's never been any work with the insurance company to say, hey, you put this in, you're gonna save a bunch of money, right? And that's what I find frustrating. We've had products over the years, like really good pipe and this, that, and the other thing, and I think what's important is that the insurance companies also need to work with the BC building code and the plumbing codes to bring up a higher level, because we struggle, like I'm in the boiler business, and it's a gong show out there. It really is. There are so many terrible boiler installations. There's so many geothermal heat pump installations. There's no rules right now. The BC building code just says, oh, if you want to do heating installations, follow these little lame guidelines, right? Meanwhile, homeowners are dying from carbon monoxide because the boilers are clogged up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I really hope that the insurance companies can help in that way, is to also work with the BC building code, BC plumbing code, to bring all that stuff up to light. Like the lady said here about her shut-off valves. Yeah, they're behind a wall. No one knows where they are. We do a bunch of radiant heating. Guys put lines in behind the drywalls. There's probably about 2,000 homes in Surrey that know about that. That's how the plumbers do, because it's cheap. It's cheap. I just want to build this place and slap it together. And all these condos that people are building, a lot of them are thrown together cheap. And then we have to pay $8 million to buy the place. Yeah. You look behind the wall, it's crap.
Yep. Totally. And I think, sorry.
When it comes to the danger of turning the water up, does it have to do with the hot water tank exploding, or somebody told me?
Gas valve.
Do you want a channel on that?
And we'd like to know an answer on that. Lots of us go away, that's why we're condo owners. We pack our bags and we're gone for a month.
Yeah.
I was told to turn your water off, so I do.
Yes, that's what we
I
will.
don't have gas except down in the boiler room where it supplies everybody with their hot water. Water off, or am I not?
I'd certainly say that in my experience, there's certainly never been any coverage restrictions with respect to turning water off and then turning water back on. I think the gentleman in the middle made an excellent point with reference to gas, the gas, how that might present a hazard with hot water tanks and boilers. Certainly in my experience, turning your water off when you're away obviously prevents leaks from occurring. Short term, not usually an issue in my experience. Long term, appliances are not supplied with water. They can have issues developing with respect to cracking seals and that kind of thing. But as a general rule, I see nothing wrong with turning your water off if you're not going to be home.
Turn the hot water tank off?
By the way, that's our vice president of claims. So, and he has that experience. So you just start talking.
Turn off the hot water tank?
Turn it to vacation.
Yes. Well, I'm missing actually talking about in terms of water losses that we all know that's the highest frequent Strata insurance claim. And what the Strata Corporation can do is, including the condo owners, to install water detection device, even better, to install water detection device and shut-off device. So the device not only can detect water leaks, but can also shut off the water automatically if it detects there's an abnormal water level. So that's one of the things that Strata Corporation can do. Sorry, you?
Yes, I just want to have a general question here, and I want to hear you guys say it, because I think I know what the answer is. What assurances, if any, can you give us as insurers that if we take into account and we do the things that you're recommending that you say we do, both as condo owners and as strata corporations, that we're going to see any kind of change in our insurance premiums and deductibles? That's the question.
Well,
I hear them say.
well, once you implement all these loss mitigation measures, your loss ratio is going to go down eventually. You will have less claims. And that's one of the driving force for the insurance premiums going up because of they're not profitable overall. So if every strata, a corporation, and condo owners take action collectively and to reduce the losses, then everybody's happy in that sense. So that would be my answer. Yes, sorry.
I think your comment, you just said the word, if every strata. Now, I live in a strata that is ridiculously proactive. The engineering report said your roof is good for 4 more years, but it was 20 years since we replaced it. And this is how we do everything. And we were still told by HUB on the 31st of December that we weren't going to get insurance. You've since come up with a policy that's only 300 and some % higher than the last one. So again, to Paul also, for our units, they're all equal, 1,200 square feet. Our policy, our premiums are now over $3,500 per unit, which is higher than a single family dwelling. And we do all of those things already. So I don't want to be, I'm not intending to play devil's advocate, but I don't think anyone should be naive and think that, well, if I, as a strata council member, encourage all owners to do this and we do all of these things, we are not going to see a reduction next year. We are probably still going to see increases. People still have to understand it's a new norm. What this is a long-term fix, but it's only going to be a long-term fix if it becomes a universal fix. Not, you've got this property here that's super proactive and does everything on the maintenance checklist every month, but 12 others aren't. And individually, we can only manage our own buildings.
Yes, that's something that's under your control in that sense, right? And in the long run, you are going to be ahead in terms of when the market is getting better and more profitable, then when insurance company looking at your risk, they're still looking at your claim histories, things like that to determine, right? So.
But there's still, I mean, even if, and seriously, we don't even have a claims history. But there's even, what's happening now for the buildings that haven't got insurance? And this maybe go to the lawyers as long as they're still here. Because you have a Strata Act that says you must be insured. But there are countless buildings in the Lower Mainland right now who are being told they can't get insurance. Where does that leave the owners? Are they breaking a law? How did they cope with that?
Yeah, and we're in this unprecedented phase in a sense that how Strata Property Act dictate that you need to insure to value, but insurance companies privatized industry, and you cannot dictate the insurance company have to insure certain buildings. So that does leave, I think the insurance industry, the strata industry need to change to adapt the new norm and to see how everything works out in that sense. I don't have a crystal ball for it, but I think even talking about like the water detection systems, what the insurance companies are doing, why they're not offering debate, things like that. I think now because of the hard insurance market, the deductibles are going up, the premiums is going up. It kind of forced the strata corporations to take a more proactive approach. Like for me, I got that unit. I'm thinking, okay, I will buy the water detection and shut-off device. to make sure that I'm not the sourcing unit. That's all I can do. So, yes.
2 points where I think maybe your industry could help. One would be, it would be nice if developers, before they could sell a unit, had to get a depreciation report and then set their fees such that it made sense, right? And then everybody would know, oh, those are 10-year appliances, so it's a bigger risk, you better replace them and all of those other things. And that's not done industry-wide. The other thing is, from the first time I sat in the bathtub and watched somebody pull the plug out, I realized water ran downhill. And to build taller buildings, we know it's gonna go down, and
Yep.
get more floors and have more losses. So get the bloody building permit changed to make sure water can't go down, it's gotta go out.
Yeah, I know that a few of my property management firm actually is thinking about taking that actions in terms of the building code. So that will certainly help Strata Insurance as well. Sorry,
I'm going to ask my question because I know you're not going in order, but.
I'm sorry, I'm just.
Okay. Is it a statutory requirement in the industry that a vacant unit be checked on during the absence? Because we've been told there have been claims that have been refused on that basis. Owners are away for vacation, they didn't have a responsible person come in, open the door and check. Is it a requirement in the industry?
I think that will be a better addressed by the lawyer in terms of Strata Property Act. But from insurance standpoint, insurance company are concerned about vacant units for sure. And now when we doing renewal, we are actually asking the number of vacant units, rental units as part of the underwriting criteria. So from insurance standpoint, yeah, it does make a difference.
But individual policies have clauses in them that say if you're vacant for more than 7 days, you need to have somebody over there. Most of them do.
That's
Okay.
typically a policy for attached called personal lines policy. Commercial and strata policies are a little bit different with respect to that exclusionary language, unit by unit.
One more. 2 points. One on everyone's looking for a universal solution on water shutoff. Building by building, have your risk manager direct you. We cannot expect to have a one-stop fits all. My major point though is Paul talked a lot about what I call the 2/3, the external marketplace, which is driven by the actuary. What each of the councils need to do, almost unheard of, but aggressively market the uniqueness of your property. When you go to have a renewal, you have a listing of all these things which are done.
Yep.
And be a child. Don't accept no right away as an answer. The other thing which is really important, if a person were paranoid, they should work for an insurance company. So understand the underwriter who looks after the other third, assessing where you are, etc. They're professionally paranoid, like what's going to go wrong. So also, there's a tendency, and I've heard this unfortunately, some people will say, if we have a negative report, don't tell the underwriter. Unfortunately, the courts are taking a very different view of that, and they're calling it a material underwriting factor,
Yep.
and the claim is denied. It
Yeah.
also gains confidence to the underwriter. You're being very forthright and honest, warts and all.
Absolutely. You are right on mark. Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. If, especially in the hard market, make sure that all the communication are smoothly and ongoing to make sure that information is presented correctly.
My favorite story about braided houses is a building, which was a rental building, high-rise tower. Some of you may have heard this before. New people moved in, they had a puppy dog. Going to work on Monday, didn't know what to do with the dog, and with the puppy, it's gonna make a mess all over the carpet. So they locked it in the bathroom because it has linoleum floor, all easy to clean up. And it chews through the hose that goes up to the toilet tank. It caused a major flood.
Yeah.
So do that. And Paul, what was the cause of the fire at your condo?
Any guesses?
Cigarette in a pot.
Yeah, you got it.
were doing a barbecue.
Cigarette in a pot.
Cigarette in a pot. We have no smoking bylaw. Yeah, it's a family building. We've got small children everywhere. I've never seen anyone in there at all. Someone came back at 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning and went onto one of the balconies, smoked a cigarette, put it out in the planter pot, and went back into bed.
Oh.
And we woke up to a raging fire. Wasn't
So we're
fun.
gonna see bylaw change, I suspect, to make, like, I'm getting more and more buildings that say no smoking, but we're gonna see barbecues and other things like that. So with that, we'll turn it back over to legal counsel.
We will. Let's see what we can do here.